Hey guys, so I've just been finishing off this painting here. So this there, pretty left field for me, but that's my cousin. This is down central North Island, the old army, working from that reference photo there. Anyway, hey, trying to make these videos reasonably interesting, but it's actually quite a boring topic. But I wanted to show you how I match the blues when I'm working from a photo. Because it's something that's really helped the people that I teach here midweek once we learn how to match these colours up accurately. So if you can sit through that, I mix the blues and the cloud colours. So man, it's blimmin' boring. I tried to make it interesting, but anyway, if you can sit through it and you are learning the paint, I'm sure it will help you. Anyway, other than that, I also done the time lapse. After that follows the time lapse of me painting the sky. If you want to zoom straight to that time lapse, go to this number here. Otherwise, yeah, sit through it. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. Otherwise, yeah, if you do like it, subscribe. I'll bring the second half of this painting in another video. But yeah, cheers guys. Right guys, I'm about to mix up some paint for this image here. So yeah, it's a pretty cool photo. It's actually a commission. Well, it's a painting for my cousin who's in the army down in Wairau. So white, titanium white, cadmium yellow pale. Hey, this never changes. This is the go-to palette. Cadmium orange. In this case, red madder. You could use alizarin or pyrrole would also be good. Phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, burnt umber. Hope I even need it. Anyway, put that over there. This is the most organised thing in my life, is these colours. Everything else is, wow. I'm not winging it, but it's not as organised as those colours are. Exceptionally organised. Winsor and Newton Lequin. As little Lequin as you possibly need. That's the clue, or that's the motto really. Don't overdo the Lequin. The paint as it comes out of the tube is the best consistency you want it to be, but you can't work with it out of the tube. You need to add something. So in this case, we use a little bit of Lequin. So I'm going to mix a blue gradient with phthalo blue. What I have to remember is I've got quite a big canvas to cover. And lately I've been painting a little small paintings, and I've got to remember that I'm actually covering a decent canvas here. So, mix that up. And I'm not painting on board, so it means I have to, when I'm painting on board I can get away with the paint being a little bit more thicker, less Lequin, but when I'm painting on canvas, like I'm going to, stretched linen, it needs to be more liquid. It needs to be able to move across the canvas a bit easier. So, right, here's the trick. If you're a beginner out there, I'll bring the photo over there. Mix your paint up. Get a little piece of paper or something, compare it and go, oh man, it's too phthalo blue. I know it's phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a little bit baby blue, like a baby blue colour. So if you mix ultramarine and white, see ultramarine's far more, it's almost more violet, but if you put that ultramarine into that phthalo, we'll have a look at that. So I only have the two blues, ultramarine blue and phthalo blue. Haven't found a colour I can't mix yet with those two colours. Not a colour in the natural world anyway, but who knows. One day it'll stump me. Okay, back over to here, can you see that? Get out of the way. It's quite tricky, you'll see, I'll show you on the camera. Okay, that there is too bright a blue. It's it's a tiny weeny little bit too bright. Okay, if you want to take the intensity out of your blue, if your blue's too bright and you want to make it more grey, go to the other side of the colour wheel. The other side of the colour wheel to blue is orange. Get some orange. Okay, we've actually got two options here because we've got orange and we've got burnt umber. Burnt umber, you consider burnt umber to be dark orange. So I could have used burnt umber or I could have used orange. But anyway, put that in there. You know, in hindsight, I probably, no, that's fine. I was thinking I should have used the burnt umber. See, yeah, you can see that. It's always hard to know whether it picks it up on the video or not, because, hey, we're not rich here. We're not dealing with the state-of-the-art cinematography cameras here. It's just struggling artist. Right, now, wrong. It's more, now it's blue, so it's gone back, well, yeah. I need more, it's gone more blue, so I need some more ultramarine blue to send it more violety blue. I probably could have put some, well, I'm sending it more red, aren't I? So I probably could have put a touch of red in. That would have got, there's more than one way to get the result. But the best way to learn is by experimenting. Okay. Ooh, boom, so close. So close, a little bit of white. Be careful because the phthalo blue is so strong that I just had some phthalo blue mixed in my white, and if I put too much of that on here, I'd be back, one step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Oh, Paulo dull. The worst thing about making these videos by yourself is you talk too much. Okay, jeepers. How fussy am I going to be? To be honest, I could add a little bit more. Let's try halfway down, get another brush. I could get a clean piece of paper. Jeepers. Halfway down. Oh. So I've got a lot of experience in mixing paint. That's what's showing up there because I got it. You probably, if you're starting out mixing paint, you're probably not going to get it in 6 minutes. If you sat through this for the whole 6 minutes, congratulations. I don't think mixing paint is, no, I don't even know whether I've got enough, but anyway, that'll do, that'll do. Okay, the other colour. The other colour we need this white, which is leaning towards yellow. Yellow, basically yellow. Clean the palette knife, some tissue, wipe that off, quick tidy up. I'll probably cut this, you won't see this in the video. I'll just cut this bit out. Anyway, look at that, clean, beautiful. So get some fresh new white. My stuff over there's got a whole lot of blue on it, that's going to be no good. Get some white down. That's actually a tricky colour. The colour that I'm trying to mix, it's a blooming tricky colour. I think it's yellow, touch of orange. You know, it won't matter if it's not perfect. Yeah, whatever, it won't matter if it's got to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can get it, you know. It's just easy if you get it pretty close, because you know if you're trying to copy a photo and you can get your colours right, man, you just got to put them in the right place. Easier said than done. Yeah, but that's it. You just got to get the colour right, then put the colour in the right place, and then you won't need to watch any more videos if that's why you're watching a video. You might just be watching a video because you're friggin' bored if you're just watching this. Anyway, it's got a bit of grey in it, so I made some, to see that, I didn't explain that, burnt umber and ultramarine blue go together to make my black. I don't have any black on the palette, so when I mix those two together, burnt umber, ultramarine, I get black. So if I add titanium white to it, I get grey, Piece of cake. Not even hard, he said. Okay. Here we go. What are we getting? So let's go back. If I was more prepared, I would have got more pieces of paper. Anyway, that is my yellowy white. That is it compared to, that's actually not too bad, because you're going to see when I'm painting, actually some of it's actually whiter than that. That's like the yellowy bit and the other bit's whiter. And I'll explain while I'm painting why that's okay. That's okay. You're going to have to, just trust me for now. That's never perfect. It's pretty good though. Oh, the grey. How's the grey? See, this is the problem. Everybody does this, and that's my lightest grey. Not everybody, lots of people, when they're painting skies, they see grey clouds, so they make like the most greyest, they make it too dark. They go too dark. So try that. Now that, compared to that white paper, man, okay, some parts are perfect and some parts need a little bit more. I'm just going to warm that grey with a little bit of orangey yellow. So you see what I do is I mix often with the palette knife, and then I make these subtle adjustments just with the brush. Okay. So it's a grey yellow. This might not be the best, might not be the most cinematic way to show you, but I think it's about content at this stage until I get better at making videos. And the grey is, that's perfect. Look at that. So if you've got this is just a cheap A4 printout. Bear in mind the colour isn't as vibrant as it would be on a screen, but what it is it's colour that you can actually paint. You can't paint on a photo. If you print out a photo, you can't just paint on the photo. It just doesn't look right. You can't compare colour, but you can compare colour on. Look, it's exactly the same. So close. Well, I can't tell the difference. So done. That's the blues, the whites, the greys. Just got to put it on the canvas, right there. Rightio guys, and just having a quick whip around the old studio there with my solvent and my canvas I'm about to work on, and into it. So the first thing I do is, the first thing of note is I'm working through that gradient, just transferring that gradient back onto the canvas there. Starting with the darks, working my way down to the lighter stuff at the bottom. Just stopping there, hummed and hard about putting some tape on, just to tape where the clouds were going to be, and decided to go with that idea. Yeah, so generally I'm using that tape to hold on to some of my drawn lines, like you see down on the horizon line there. But in this case, I just also use the tape just to hold on to some really nice white canvas to come back and put my clouds in there after I put the blue on. So another thing you're seeing me doing there when I'm on my palette is at the top right hand corner of my palette I've got some pure liquin. And remember when I said I was mixing the blues up, I said less is more with, use as little medium as you can when you're mixing your paint. Well, I actually used not enough, but that's okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting a little bit of medium on my brush and just mixing up that paint as I go now. So it's just basically I'm just putting a little bit more medium into my paint with every time I need it. Yeah, so I've transferred that gradient onto the canvas now, and I was using those hog bristle flat brushes like number 8s and 10s, no fancy brushes, just hog bristle brushes, and I do quite a bit of blending. Well, I'm transferring the gradient and I'm sort of blending that in as I go with the bristle brushes, but now I'm coming back with these badger brushes. Badger brushes are blending brushes, but you don't do a dramatic amount of blending. You're really just blending in the very surface of the paint. So if you haven't got a gradient on, you're not going to do it. You're not going to create a gradient with the badger brush. You're just going to, it's just like the finesse at the end. But you can get that beautiful subtle blend. So I use the badger brush also for doing clouds or when I'm making mist. I'll show you the mist in another video. I'll do some misty hills or something. But anyway, yeah. And the other thing is you've got to keep that badger brush clean. Like you can't contaminate your light blue into your dark blue or vice versa. So that's why I think you see I had 3 brushes there, or else you just got to go and clean them in the solvent, beat them out. You got to shake that solvent out, so you got to beat the devil out of them like Bob Ross. Anyway, so I've taken the tape off, and you see the tape. What the tape done for me is it kept that really beautiful white. So now I can go and lay some white clouds in. Not have to worry about contaminating it with blue from the start. It's going to contaminate because we got wet on wet paint there. So actually on that note, on that wet on wet paint being a problem, now you're going to see me, this is a top tip guys, and I've slowed this down to real time. So I'm scraping that excess blue paint. So you need quite a bit of blue paint to make a blend. That's just the way it is. But I'm scraping some of the excess blue paint off, and then we're just going to feather it out with the badger brush. So now I'm going to have less blue paint on there. Still enough. Still got enough to make the painting, but I've got less blue paint. So now when I go and lay my clouds, the white for my clouds, there's less opportunity for that white paint to smear into the blue paint. You just imagine that. If you've got a lot of blue paint, a lot of white paint, it's really hard to control. But now I've got less blue paint there. When I put the white paint on, it's easier for me to control. So I just lay that on there like that with that hog bristle fan brush. Then I'll come back with the badger brush and I'll just feather out those clouds. So incidentally, this is about being self-taught. How did I learn this? I learned this by actually having to scrape some paint off one day. So I was scraping that paint off and I realised, hang on a second here. Now I can come back and lay this white on and have way more control and make like little wee like cirrus clouds. Yeah, so when I'm using these badger brushes, guys, for these clouds, I'm just sort of lifting up in sort of half circles, preserving the top edge of the cloud. That's probably the big clue, really, is you don't want to upset the top edge of your cloud. Kind of just keep on lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. The bottom of the cloud can blend into the sky, and that's generally how it looks. Actually, that looks good. But yeah, so just repeating that process. Putting that paint on. I'm working like I'm using the reference photo. Hey, it was a really good reference photo. Even the clouds were good. Everything was good about this. It really just did lead the eye into the picture. It was awesome. But there was, to be honest, that cloud at the top was in the photo, in the reference photo. The sun was in that cloud, and it was sort of a bit overexposed and blowing out there. So not using that. Now, actually, you see me there working back with some blue, going the other way, working some blue back into the cloud. So you can do that. You can go back with some blue. Yeah, just how it goes. Now, I think you're going to see me start using some of the greys shortly. so I hold back on those greys and I come in last. If you did watch the mixing of the video, I think I mentioned about when you're putting your grey clouds in, it's like a common challenge for people, using the word challenge there, it's sort of like so people often go too dark with their grey clouds, I think. I've seen that a lot. Just keep it subtle, guys. Just go light. Go as dark as you think they are, then go a little bit lighter. Pull back a bit, then try that. Then if you need to go darker, go darker. But just start, ease your way into it. I always find less is more. Back in with some blue, up to the top there. Knocking back that cloud a little bit, It's really forgiving. Oil paint's really forgiving. Anyway, guys, hey, hope you enjoyed that. Remember to subscribe if you're liking this stuff. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the second half of this painting. And by the way, there you are. I haven't finished the clouds yet either. Like, I'm still going to do some more of those clouds. So that's just stage one of those clouds, a little bit more to come. Here's that painting. So I did do a little bit more of those clouds. But yeah, anyway, next video, won't hold you up. Going to do this part. I'll show you this part. It'll just be a 2-video job. And yeah, we'll get that done. So thanks for watching. If you watched all the way through, congratulations. That colour mixing, handy, but blooming boring. Okay, thanks guys.